Hi everyone, in this video I'll be presenting how to use this writing planner that I've created in Notion. This writing planner is heavily based on the writing workshop by Barbara Sarnica, who has written a lot of advice on how to write better in academia. So here I'll be I'm mainly incorporating the organizational tactics that she presents in her book, and hopefully this will be helpful to you out there, whether you're in academia or you just want to improve or be more consistent in your writing. So for people who want to have an overview of how to use this template, once you download it, you have a how to use section here that really covers everything that I'll be covering in this video. But this is a useful way of just visually seeing how the template works. Also, I'll be using the group template example, but I also have an individual template for people who don't necessarily have other people who use Notion or who write daily. So to start with, there are really three parts to this template. The first part is this projects tab here. And this is where you'll be sort of planning out what you want to do from semester to semester or in different parts of the year. And here, the second part, you have the seasonal plan, which is basically where you'll be breaking up big project into small doable tasks or weekly tasks. And then once we go over the seasonal plan, we also have our daily writing plan. So this is where you will take what your weekly goals are, and then you'll be breaking those up into daily goals. There are a few other things, or a few other pages that are part of this template. So for example, Dr. Sarnica talks about this rejection collection, which I've included in the group template, but not in the individual template, where people can sort of record things that were rejected. And then after a little while, you can have a rejection party to help each other through those rejections. And then here we also have a writing workspace where you can put your favorite timer. So here I have one that is a Pomodoro timer, but if ever you have another website that you prefer using, you can put that there. I have a notepad section, so when you're doing a writing session, anything that comes to mind, you can just jot it down here. Like this, you can focus on your writing and you're not tempted to go do something else during that time. And I've seen other people also adding like Spotify playlists and things like that, so that they have like a nice workspace. And then lastly here, this is the other extra little bit. I have a page for writing resources. So although these are not filled, you and your writing group can sort of fill these in and add resources that the whole group has access to. So if I go into the how this template works, so we can first start with the projects tab here. So I'll be essentially going through the whole workflow from projects to a daily writing plan. But if you prefer just doing the daily writing plan, I'll show you how to do that as well. So first thing that you'll want to do is set up the template for the writing plan, and I'll put a link to this timestamp for that. But I'll just go through the whole workflow first. So if we go look at the projects page here in Dr. Sarnica's book, it's your individual development plan. And so this is where you'll want to list all of the projects that you have going on at the moment. So let's say here I have a fun project that I'm working on, and then I have a not so fun project that I'm also working on. And I can say what type of project these are. So let's say these are two research projects. Here, obviously, you can modify or customize the different categories of projects that you have going on. These are just typically what you would see graduate students working on, or even researchers. And then you can set the priorities. So let's say that my not so fun project is my first priority, and then my fun project is my second priority. You can label those here, and then you can say, okay, for my not so fun project, in this semester I have to do a lit review plus write a proposal like this, and review is missing an E. And then here in the spring I want to code experiment plus do a pilot. So here I can say what I want to do in the different semesters, and then let's say that here for my fun project, I just have the writing left. So Dr. Sanurka in her book really goes into more detail as to how you want to order these projects, which one would be your first priority. So for example, if your goal is to finish this project where you just have writing going on, you can put that as your first priority, and then this other project that you're just starting as a second priority. So you can really use these tools to prioritize. And so once you've written all of your projects down, you can plan what you want to do from semester to semester, and then you're ready to go on to the next step, which is to do your seasonal plan. All right, so if we go back to the dashboard and now go to the seasonal plan, you'll see that we have the same projects database here, but now we don't see the columns for all of the semesters. We only see the column for the semester we're currently in. Later in the video, I'll show you how you can change what that column is, because you'll have to change it manually from semester to semester. But at least now this gives you a really nice way of looking at what the major goals are for that semester for each of your projects. Now, next step that you want to do is to take each of those big goals and to split them up into smaller manageable tasks. So first thing we're going to do is go to this task tab here, and then we're going to start listing what are the different things that we need to do for each project. So for example, if I go to my fun project and my goal is to finish writing the manuscript, and let's say I haven't started writing at all, I might say, well, one of my goals or one of my smaller tasks would be to write the lit review part of the intro, and another task might be to write the methods, but the participant and procedure section. And so you can split all of these sections up into different tasks, and you can have, for example, write the analysis plan. So you can list all of your tasks here for your different projects, and then you can assign these tasks to your different projects. So let's say that these tasks are all for the fun project. I can just you can either assign them one by one, or another little quick hack is to just highlight them and then say, So you can highlight them and then you can edit one property for all of them. So let's say for the projects, this is all part of the fun project. And so now you have them all assigned to a project. By default, the status will be not started, and then the priority will be inherited from the project priority. So the next stage would then be to plan each of these tasks or each of these goals into your timeline. So let's say that I'm doing this in the month of, or like in the winter semester, and I want to go in order. So let's say that this week I want to focus, my goal is to finish writing the lit review part of the intro, and then let's say I do these in order. So next week I'll be working on the methods, and then 2 weeks later I'll be working on the analysis plan. And let's say I think the analysis plan is going to take 2 weeks to write. I can also extend here the amount of time that I think this will last. Ideally, you'd want to set something like a separate goal for each week, because the bigger you make the goals, the harder it is to do normally. So it's easier to break them up into smaller tasks. And so you can do this for all of your projects, and then you'll have an overview of what the timeline is for each of your projects. And you can even modify here how much of each project you see, or how much time you see at a time. So once you've set your weekly plans, then what you can do is set up your daily writing plan. So the first thing you'll want to do before using your daily writing plan is to actually set it up. So to do this, what I recommend is to, so when you first download the template, this part with the Me tab is going to be empty. So there are two ways that you can populate this database. Here I'll show you one way, but in the how-to instructions you'll see another way if you can't do it this way. So I recommend installing this Chrome extension called Notion Date Autofiller. And then here you can set the dates that you want it to pre-populate. So here, let's say the start date is January 2nd, and then the end date is, I think it is January 2nd of the next year, or February 1st. So you can customize this to whatever interval you want, and then you just click copy. And then when you go back to Notion, you just need to create one row, select one of the date cells, and then you can do Control V or copy paste. And so this will automatically create entries with consecutive dates, and this will automatically assign it to you. So the reason why you want to do this in the Me tab is because, let's say you have different people on the group template, this will be assigned to the person that is creating these entries. And so since I'm on my Notion account, it creates entries for me, but if I'm on my friend's Notion account, it will create entries for them. Once you've created those entries, you'll see that they are automatically shown here in your dashboard. And so then what you would want to do every week is to look at what your tasks are for that week. So let's say here my goal is to write my lit review intro. And so I can go back to my week and then set daily goals. So let's say that my goal for Monday is to write outline for lit review. And then let's say that on Tuesday, my goal is to summarize topic 1. And here on day 2, it's to summarize topic 2. And then here, summarize method. So you really, here you can break it down into however small parts you can, so that it's daily manageable tasks. And let's say that here you want to write the current study section. So you can write your daily goals, and here I all made them according to my task for that week, for that one project, but obviously you can go from one project to another. This is just for an example's sake. And then every day what you would want to do is you would want to check this checkbox if you write on that day. So let's say that we're Monday, and yes, I did write a small 10 minutes where I wrote my outline. Well, then I would check this checkbox, and then in my log I would say, for example, completed goal. But then let's say on Tuesday I still write, so I would write a check mark here, but I don't summarize topic 1. I actually start writing an abstract submission for a poster. So I can say here, wrote abstract for poster. And so this allows you to sort of keep track of what writing you have done, especially if you didn't end up writing something that was related to your goal. And it also helps if you're in a group to keep each other accountable when you actually have to write what you've done or record what you've done. And then finally, I included this column, which was originally in the templates. And you can say here, for example, grateful for Earl Grey tea. And so you can really fill this to whatever brings you joy on that day. So this is the daily writing part that is related to you. And then for the group template, this is the little interesting part. So here I'm the only one on the current template, but if you were multiple people, you would see each person's entries for that week. On the original template, or on the template that you'll download, there's also a column where you'll be able to write comments to each other. So let's say that you are doing really good and people want to encourage you to keep going, or let's say you're having a really hard time, same thing. It provides an outlet for people to like communicate and encourage each other. And so this is one view that you can use, but another view that you can use is this one here, where you see each day of the week, and you can see who wrote on which day. And again, it's another way of easily visualizing what people are up to for that week. Now I've presented what the workflow looks like, There's a few little things about Notion that you might want to know about. So for example, for the seasonal plan, that you'll have to modify every semester. So when you download this template, it will be set to winter 2023, because that's when it was created and shared. But this will change from semester to semester. So to do that, there are two things you need to do. So but first thing you'll want to do is here you'll want to change the filter. So you'll want to delete the filter for the winter and then to create a filter for the next season. So I have spring 2023 as the next season, and you'll want to set that to not empty. And then the second thing you'll want to do is to hide the old semester column and to show the new semester column. So I'll want to show spring 2023. And so here I can see, okay, for my not so fun project, my goal for that semester was to code the experiment and start piloting. And then same drill, you can go back to your tasks tab, and here I think I've set, so here there's a filter for the status of not completed. So it'll only show you the things that are not completed. So when you do your weekly planning, I highly recommend you just updating the status to in progress or done, so that when you get to the next semester, it's easier to either reschedule the tasks that haven't been completed, or at least you won't be seeing the tasks that are done. So this won't be too overwhelming. So that concludes the video. This template is available on Gumroad, so the links will be down below in the description box. If this is useful for you, please consider supporting me by making a small donation or contribution. If you have any questions, you can always send me an email, or even if you have feedback or ways that I could improve on this template, I'd be really appreciative and happy to hear comments. So you can either put a comment down below or contact me via email. And thank you for listening.